Hi, this is Ted Lilly with Data Better Software, and I'm going to be taking you through the pre-install configuration for Add2Exchange Add2Exchange Enterprise, installing for Exchange 2010, and I'm going to be doing this on a Windows Server 2008 R2 box. So that's where I am right now. I'm using Remote Desktop to go over to my test box. That is our R2 box, which is a little bit different. It kind of looks like a more regular system, but I have in fact just minimized the icons here. So this is an R2 box. The first step that we're going to go through a few steps. The general overview of the process is this is the pre-install, not the actual install of the software itself. So we're going to do things like download the software and configure the accounts and policies that we need to do in order to give us all the access, give Add2Exchange and the Add2Exchange service all the access to Exchange mailboxes that we need in order to do synchronization. So to start with, we're going to be running through this pretty quickly. These are on YouTube, and so they're limited in time, and I'm going to break it up into several pieces. This one will go over the pre-install. And the first thing that we need to do on this machine is we actually need to disable UAC, and that's because through the processes that we go through installing a service and so forth, it's best we're actually only able to configure the properties that we need on the service if UAC is disabled. So I'm going to show you the registry method of disabling UAC. This is the preferred method, and it is preferred because it absolutely 100% does the job. And so I'm going to have you open up Registry Editor, and I've already zoomed to the key that we need to be looking at here, which is Computer, HKey Local Machine, Software, Microsoft, Windows, Current Version, Policies, System. And the data value that we're looking for is Enable LUA. And as you can see, on this machine I've already disabled it. On your machine it'll probably say 1. We want to have you change this to 0. Hit OK. And then after that you're going to need to reboot your system in order for that to take effect. So go ahead and do that. Alright, once you've gotten that taken care of and you come back to the system, the next thing we're going to do is have you download the software. And the software is available on www.diditbetter.com under the Downloads section that's here. And it does require you to be registered. If you haven't registered, go ahead and do that, and you will be able to get to this screen, which is our selection of downloads. We're going to do Add2Exchange Enterprise Edition, and so I'm going to click I would click the download button here, and we download it. For time's sake, I've already got it downloaded, and so I'm going to take you there, which is here, and I'm logged in as administrator. It's in my downloads directory, and what you will download is an exe. Now, the package that I've downloaded, I actually will show you here, since there are a few different packages to choose from. And the ones that start with RC, these are beta release candidates. So you may want to use those if you know a feature that we're coming out with that you want to use, or you just like being on the latest and greatest. These are fairly stable. They're release candidates. But if you want to be on the standard package, that is these three options here. And the brief explanation of the differences between these is that the full package is what you want if you're doing an initial install, because it has the SQL server that's included in and we need to run as a service. So that's in full. That's what I've gotten. If at a later date you upgrade to a newer version, you can go ahead and grab the All Others upgrade package. And then there's a upgrade package for early versions of Add2Exchange 2 or 3 that you can also grab, but you won't need that. It's a self-extracting executable. I've double-clicked it here, and it unpacks itself into a directory of the same name. And we're actually not going to install from here. We're as an administrator right now, And what we need is a specialized account for us. So what I'm going to do is take you through Preinstaller, which is included in here, and it's also a self-extracting executable. I've double-clicked it, and it's unpacked to this directory. I'm going to go ahead and run it. Now, what this will do is go through all the steps necessary to configure Add2Exchange, the service account for Add2Exchange, on an Exchange 2010 or Exchange 2007 system, because those systems are the ones that have Exchange Management Shell, which give us the features to automate this process. If you're running on Exchange 2003, we also have configuration steps for that. Unfortunately, the pre-installer can't do those for you because there is no Exchange Management Shell on 2003, so you have to go back to our manuals and use the manual process described there. And it's not too tough, but this really just makes things a lot faster for you. Now, what this is asking us for here is we're going to set up a new account, and normally I would suggest you use the Add2Exchange account that's suggested here. In our case, I'm going to change this because I already have an account under that name, and so I'm going to make this Add2Exchange because it's great. That's why. So we're going to enter a password. And we're going to select an OU that's going to be making both the user and Active Directory as well as the mailbox. And I'm going to stick with the default here. If you want to stick it in a different OU and you know what it is, you can type it in here, or you can press the OUs button and it will do a search that tells you all the OUs in your Active Directory that you can then cut and paste into here. The OUs only shows you actual OUs, not regular containers in Active Directory, so your list may be a little bit small. You may have to hunt for one that is a regular container that is not users. But I'm going to stick with users here, and then I'm going to run the mdbs command here, which will show me the mailbox databases on the system. It just takes a moment, as you can see from the status bar here. Okay, and this is Notepad. I'm going to copy and paste that. And that is where the mailbox for this account will be created. Finally, we have our Active Directory, and then that should be good. I'm getting close on time here, so I'm going to go ahead and run this. Now, it's doing a couple things here, and it's verifying that we have CDO installed. We have it installed on this machine already, but if it weren't, say on your machine, it will initiate the process to go ahead and install CDO and take you through that. When it gets to the Exchange update level, we want to make sure you're on a supported version of the Exchange updates. They are important. And so what this is telling me here is that I'm actually on a new enough level that it is not known whether or not we support that version yet. And so it's warning me. I'm on the very latest and greatest, so I'm happy to know that this does work with Add2Exchange. Now we'll hit OK here. If I were not running a supported level of Exchange updates, it would tell me so, and it would instruct me to go to Microsoft Update and make sure I have the latest update rollup for my Service Pack level, or you can go direct. If you're not on the latest Service Pack, you should be. You can go download that from Microsoft Downloads and then run Microsoft Update to make sure it has the latest update rollup levels. It's going to go through and do all the rights assignments that we need, and we do things like we get added to the Exchange management groups, we get mailbox rights for send as for all the mailbox databases that are in your system, and we also are in the public folder management group, and we assign ownership client rights to every public folder in your store to our account. And so we're going through and we're doing all these things. These are all PowerShell commands, and then Exchange 2010, above and beyond Exchange 2007, has a couple additional restrictions that we need to lift. And so there's basically these are limits on how many transactions can be done with Exchange 2010, and we do a lot, and so this is lifting those restrictions on access to mailboxes and the address book. And when this is complete, this takes a few moments. This is all PowerShell doing its work in the background. What it will do is tell us everything is golden, and then we will exit out of here, log off, and log back on as this new account that we've created. And we'll take it from there. So at this point, I'm going to cut this video, and we're going to move on to the next step.